Okay, so the water comes from Pine Coulee or from our on-site raw water storage. Comes through, everything has to be metered due to Alberta environment. We add chemical, we add carbon dioxide, and it lowers the pH of the water. It makes the coagulant work better. And then the water will go up to the DAF. So this is where we have some online water meters. We have our raw water meter, pre and post CO2 for the pH control. And then we have our dissolved air flotation, number 1 and number 2 raw water meters, and our raw water meter coming from Pine Coulee. And we have all online meters, and it's all SCADA controlled, and it goes to the computer and to our cell phones in case there's any problems. So the raw water coming from Pine Coulee, when we fill the lake, our on-site reservoir, it comes from Pine Coulee and goes through the water plant through a meter, so we know what we're metering for Alberta environment. We can also bypass the DAF and go directly into the membranes. But what happens in normal production, we come up through this end and comes in and goes into both DAFs. There's 2 DAFs here, the dissolved air flotation. And we can go right back up the stairs there. So after the water goes through the primary and secondary flock tanks, it goes into the dissolved air flotation tank. And what happens is this is a saturation tank, and it mixes water and air together and makes a micro bubble. And it keeps all of the dirt and solids on top of the DAF. The 2 pumps over here, the saturation recycle pumps, keep the water coming into the saturation tank. So in normal operation, the dirty water stays on the top, and the DAF skimmers skim the DAF, all the waste off, and it goes down to the neutralization tank. And all the clean water goes down through a false floor into the common effluent tank, and then over to the membrane filtration. So this is the distribution area. Underneath the concrete slab is all water, treated water reservoir. And there's all the pumps come on in line in case we have a fire or open a hydrant. They all come on in tandem. And the VFDs control all the pumps. This is our on-site diesel backup generator for power if the power goes out. And we have a similar diesel engine over at the highway pump station for redundancy. And it controls all of the water plant in case we have a power outage.
Today we're doing some maintenance on the system. We've upgraded the communication protocol for all of the VFDs, variable frequency drives. These are the controllers that run all the motors within the facility. So this over here is the brains of the operation. So this is a PLC, programmable logic controller, and it controls everything that happens in this facility. This is what runs the show.
So these 2 pumps pump water over to the highway pump station or the UFA reservoir, and we add liquid chlorine through a pipe just for the use over at the UFA. These are the backwash pumps, so when we do a reverse air filtration or a CIP or a backwash on the membrane racks, these pumps take clear water out of the reservoir, and we flush the membrane racks after we do a cleaning or an air scrub. So we have a total of 108 membranes with room for future build out. So each one of these membranes, inside of it, there's a microfiber, and that's what it looks like inside of it. Water goes around the outside of the microfibers, and there's micro holes in here, and the water penetrates the fibers and then goes out the top into our clear well where we add chlorine or sodium hydroxide for pH control. So all of our valving in the water plant runs on pneumatics, so air. So all of these nodes, everything works on SCADA control, and all the valves are air controlled. And air is a big thing here in the water plant. We need compressed air or we can't run. So behind you is the compressor room. We have 2 Sol Air compressors. So in this room, the first tank on your left, this is Polydex. This is for algae control. So in the summer months, when we fill water from Pine Coulee, we add a little bit of this. It's a copper sulfate mixture, and it kills the algae. And the second barrel is liquid chlorine, sodium hypochlorite. We use that to send over to the highway pump station, the UFA reservoir, to keep the free chlorine up in the system as per Alberta environment. This is some of our meter parts that we use for the town of Claresholm. We took the sign to make sure we had a little bit of history still left, And this is the maintenance room. So the maintenance room is where we do repairs. And above the maintenance room is the BMS area, the building management system, where we have our hot water heating. And we have solar panels on the water treatment plant that heat water. So this is the pack room. We use powder activated carbon to remove taste and odor in the water. Now this is a tree-based powder activated carbon rather than a coal-based, because a coal-based powder activated carbon would foul our membranes and we can't use it. So basically it's burnt trees. We have online terp meter, online pH meter, and online chlorine analyzer. So Alberta Environment gives us a certain set point for free chlorine, but we try and keep the free chlorine in Claresholm as low as possible. The lower the chlorine leaving the water plant, the better.